title.
Yeah. Feel free to finish out, because I'm not going to.
Oh, wow. That's good.
I'm going to sit down there. I'm going to go sit down. Yeah. What do I do? Nothing. That's right. Nothing.
You leave the bus.
All right. I'll be done.
Welcome and thank you for coming. We would like to welcome you all to the 2015-2016 National Honor Society induction. I am Hannah Kimber and I am the 2015-2016 National Honor Society president this year. We are going to start off with the induction of new members. If the new members, once you hear your name, if you could please stand up and start moving towards the aisle. You guys, your member is going to come out into the crowd, they're going to hand you a card, they're going to shake your hands, they're going to link arms with you, and then they're going to bring you forward and you're going to get a couple handshakes. If we could invite Ms. Anderson, Ms. McAdams, and Mr. Goulet up and Mr. Hutton for the handshakes. All right, we are going to begin. Elizabeth Aloha. Agatha Andrews. Sean Williams. Annie Garcia. Haley Steffes. Helen Lineberger. Madison Stumpf. Darren Warnicki. Laura Ikata. Yao Yue Gao. Annie Masterman. Katie Turner. Brittany Jimmy. Samantha Wade. Josh O'Kitkin. Miles Willis. Nicole Pactoak. Regina Pingayak Simon. Julie Amatul. Leanne Francis. Adrian Mitchell. Paul Byoff. Joseph Dementive. Sydney Kimber. We'd like to say thank you to all the adults up in the front who are shaking hands so you guys can take a seat. We are now going to say a few short little blobs about what the 4 pillars of National Honor Society are. The pillars are leadership, scholarship, character, and service. The first one we're going to read about today is leadership with Shannon, who is a senior.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interest of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed, thus to lead a substantive charge to each of our members.
Next, we have scholarship with Sienna Reed, a junior.
Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship.
Character with Jasmine Jemawak, a senior. Character is the force within each individual which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each of us our individuality. It is that without which no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is the force of character which guides one through life and, when once developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved, not received. It is the product of constant action, striving daily to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character. Our last pillar is service, from Regina Turchik, a senior. My office is service. Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of the day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or without recognition is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow. Now we are going to have the new inductees and the returning National Honor Society members say a pledge. So if I could have you guys all rise and raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I pledge to uphold.
I pledge to uphold
the high purposes of National Honor Society.
the high purposes of National Honor Society,
To which I have been selected.
to which I have been selected.
I will be true to the principles for which it stands.
I will be true to the principles for which it stands.
I will be loyal to my school.
I will be loyal to my school,
And I will maintain and encourage
and I will maintain and encourage
the high standards of scholarship,
the high standards of scholarship,
service,
service,
leadership,
leadership,
and character.
and character.
You guys can be seated. Now I'm going to introduce Haley Stump, who is going to introduce our super top secret guest speaker.
As you all know, as Hannah just said, my name is Haley Stump, and I have the privilege today and honor of announcing our super secret, awesome guest speaker. So in NHS, we're concerned with 4 main pillars, and these pillars are scholarship, leadership, service, and character. So I'd like to explain how this person demonstrates each and every one of these in his everyday life. So when it comes to scholarship, this person graduated from the University of New Mexico in 1980 and received his bachelor's degree. And he received his master's degree in 1985. So when it comes to leadership, he demonstrates leadership every day. But something you might not know about this person is that he was involved in the Marine Corps for 4 years, right after high school. So right before he went to college, he served our country. So not only does he serve our school, but he served our country. And when it comes to service, he helps serve our school every day in every function. He's always willing to serve. But something you might not know about him is that every Saturday at 6 a.m., he wakes up and he volunteers at the Sitka Animal Clinic. And he doesn't do this because he's getting paid or because he's getting any extra benefits. He does this because he's a caring person and he wants to serve the community. And when it comes to character, he has some of the best character I've ever seen. It's true. He has been working in schools since 1990, and he's worked in schools in New Mexico and Alaska. Before he worked as a principal, he was a teacher, but when he first became a principal, he worked at Blatchley. However, luckily, we've had him for 11 years. If you don't know who I'm talking about by now, you know who I am talking about. The wonderful person that I'm talking about right now is Mr. Bernie Gourlay.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Haley. Thank you very much for that recognition. There's nowhere to go from here but down, so thank you for letting me speak. It is indeed an honor Congratulations, young ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, members that are in standing. The National Honor Society is a nationwide, countrywide, worldwide organization that recognizes the 4 pillars that we mentioned. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the 4 pillars, and I'm going to talk to you about tires. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about tires. Before I start that, I want to mention to you that when Haley asked me to speak today, I went into some of my files and looked up some, I wasn't sure what I had in National Honor Society as far as my files were concerned. And I started looking through, and when I put National Honor Society in as kind of a search of my files, I came up with an all-star group of students. An absolute all-star group of students. If we had the Hall of Fame boards like they do in the gymnasium for our students, that's what the National Honor Society students look like. That's who they are. They are our all-stars. The purpose of the National Honor Society is to create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate a desire to render service, to promote leadership, and to develop character in the students of our secondary schools. You are being honored today for your achievement in character, service, leadership, and scholarship. These 4 traits or virtues were not selected at random. They are closely interrelated. They build upon one another and form the core of a sound individual, a sound family, a sound society, a sound nation, and a sound world. They are like 4 wheels on a car. All 4 must be functioning properly in order for the car to go anywhere. Character. Each one of us was born into this world lacking the ability by ourselves to navigate life successfully. We needed the help of other people, beginning with our parents, to help form within us the character that we need to make wise decisions. Our character defines much of who we are, how we think, why we act, and what we say or do. Our character is shown by what we do when we think nobody else is around. Our character determines what we say yes to and determines what we say no to. It also often determines how we identify where we are going and whether we have any sense of direction, purpose, or destiny. Our character gives us a sense of right and wrong, an understanding that right is right, even if everyone else is against it, and that wrong is wrong, even if everyone is for it, and the fortitude to choose what to do that is right. A person of character does not take polls to determine the right course of action. A person's character shows who he is by what he does with what he has. I like that. I'll repeat it. A person's character shows who he is by what he does with what he has. His ability may get him to the pinnacle, but it takes character to keep him there. Your character started forming years ago, and it is being molded and fine-tuned right now, today. Character is the trait at the core of all the other 3 traits. It is the genesis of service, leadership, and scholarship. A nation composed of individuals of fine character stands as a beacon on the hill of the world. Some say knowledge, scholarship is power, but the power really is in character. The power is in an individual The power in an individual is contained in his character. Service. There are two kinds of character, two basic kinds of individuals. There are those who seek primarily to serve themselves, and there are those who seek primarily to serve others. Of course, we are all, to some extent, a mixture of both of these impulses. But there's a big difference between someone who is actively seeking to serve others 90% of the time and someone who is actively seeking to serve himself 90% of the time. It is much easier to live near or with someone who has a heart of a servant. Service to others lies in the foundation of a positive change. It makes life worthwhile. When we serve others, extraordinary things begin to happen. It makes the servant rich by what he gives up. You students need not wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. You can serve others, your community, your nation, and your world right now. Start serving now and you will begin to develop the kind of trajectory in your life that makes all the difference to you and to those around you. Woodrow Wilson said, if you think about what you ought to do for other people, your character will take care of itself. Character is a byproduct, and any man who devotes himself to the cultivation of his own case will become a selfish pig. Service develops character if the service is motivated by humanitarianism. Confucius said, to put the world right in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must set our hearts right. It all starts with the individual with a servant heart. Servanthood is the core of a well-oriented or well-ordered individual, family, society, nation, and world. Leadership. A person who has the kind of character that seeks to serve others usually also develops a sense of purpose for his life and for the lives of people around him. He cares. And because he cares, he tends to be aware of the conditions around him. Out of this awareness of how things are, both good and bad, often comes the desire to lead. He wants people around him to join together with him, to help solve the problems and to improve the conditions in which other people live. A leader seeks the best of those that he or she serves. Leadership is not so much about techniques or methods as it is about opening the heart. Leadership is about inspiration to oneself and to others. A good leader inspires others to confidence in him. A great leader inspires them to be confident among themselves. Great leadership is about human experiences, not processes. Leadership is participative and active, it's not passive. Or is it just a title or a position? Leadership is not a routine, a formula, or a program. It is an attitude. A human activity that comes from the heart and considers the hearts of others. Leadership is not a directive, dictatorial or forceful, but rather invitational, enabling, and upbuilding. Leaders understand Leaders understand the needs of those who they are served by their leader. John F. Kennedy said, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Good leaders develop through a never-ending process of self-study, education, training, experience. Scholarship. Out of that desire to lead often comes the awareness and willingness to engage in long periods of study in order to be effective as possible as a leader in your community. Your scholarship and training must have a purpose to be fulfilling. It is useless unless you have a purpose. The purpose being to make you a better leader and to execute change for the better. You should yearn not so much to be taught, but rather you should wish to learn. The more you learn, the more you find out how much you do not know. If you think you know it all, then your learning has ceased. You should attempt things that you cannot do, so that you can learn how to do them. And you should never stop questioning. Scholarship does not end with simply knowing pieces of information. It naturally and necessarily requires valuing the knowledge and applying it wisely to lead others. All four qualities are necessary. All four tires are necessary for that vehicle to move. But what happens if all of these four qualities fail to develop properly in an individual, or a family, or a community, or a nation? In other words, what happens when one or more of the tires goes flat? All four qualities are interconnected and interdependent. Shortcomings in one area will always adversely affect the others. The leadership wheel, the leadership tire. For instance, what happens when a leadership wheel or a tire goes flat? One possible definition of leadership is the ability to get others to follow you. But that definition is faulty and is incomplete. Tyrants and dictators are able to get other people to follow them. If leadership were merely the ability for others to follow, then Adolf Hitler was a great leader because so many people followed him. Obviously, Hitler was not a great leader. His leadership was essentially a selfish quest for power that ended in the death and destruction of millions of people and for himself. A great leader is someone whose ability to get other people to follow is linked to the desire to serve others, the knowledge of which direction should be pursued, and the willingness to put the interests of others first. In other words, a great leader is someone whose character, scholarship, service, combined with the ability to get others to follow. Without this kind of leadership, families, communities, cities, and nations all stumble as they try to figure out which way to go, how to get there, and what to do when they arrive. The scholarship tire. Similarly, what happens when the scholarship tire goes flat? One possible definition of scholarship is study and acquisition of information or knowledge. But again, that definition is incomplete because it fails to include the proper purpose for acquiring this information. The proper purpose of scholarship is not merely to create suitable contestants for game shows like Trivial Pursuit or Jeopardy. It is not even just to enable people to make lots of money. The world is filled with intelligent people. Filled with intelligent people who never link their academic training to anything other than furthering their own selfishness or curiosity. One of the essential purposes of true scholarship is to acquire information and knowledge in order to put to work to help others. Without this kind of scholarship, education fails to fulfill its ultimate purpose, the advancement and improvement of the community. The service wheel. If the service wheel has a flat tire, nothing of lasting value actually gets done. The most sincere person in the world may want to serve others with every fiber of their being, but that desire by itself is not sufficient. Effective service requires diligent study and preparation. The one who seeks to serve must understand what needs to be done and must acquire the skills required to do it. Effective service also requires the ability to enlist the help of others and to train those who have been enlisted to help. Without these things, the desire to serve is merely a futile exercise in well-intentioned ineptitude. The character wheel. If the character wheel goes flat, it has a way of deflating all the other wheels at once. Character is not just knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is doing what is right even when pressured to do what is wrong. When a smart, well-educated person who is in a position of leadership and has the responsibility of serving others experiences a breakdown in the area of character, what happens? What are the consequences when someone like that chooses to do what is wrong? Often the consequences of such character failure are far-reaching and touch the lives of many people in painful and costly ways. Those who follow the now fallen leader are frequently left jaded and bitter. Community relations that took years to cultivate can be shattered forever. When your character breaks down, it really doesn't matter how well educated you are, how many people were following you, or how worthy your attempts at service might have been. It all comes to a screeching halt without character. 4 flat tires. So, if our leaders are trying to get other people to follow them merely so they can acquire power and influence, if our scholars are merely acquiring information so they can become walking encyclopedias or to prove how smart they are or just to make money for themselves, or if those who are attempting to serve others are inept because they have never invested the time or the effort to get the education and training they need to be effective, or if an individual has not developed the character necessary to endure various trials and testings and to practice the golden rule of treating others as they themselves want to be treated, then our society and our nation will be unable to move forward. We will be like a car with 4 flat tires. We will not be a car with 4 flat tires because of these people right here and because of those people out there. We are not a school, we're not a community, we're not a state, we're not a nation or a world with flat tires. There is character, there is leadership, there is service, and these people are demonstrating for us all year long in what they do. In conclusion, I thank the National Honor Society. I thank you very, very much. Individuals with truly fine character seek to serve others. Servanthood is the first step to leadership, for a leader serves those first whom he leads. Leadership and scholarship are indispensable. Scholarship develops leadership, service, and character. These 4 virtues are the core of a fulfilled and filling life, and we are part of the bedrock of a healthy individual, a family, a society, a nation, and a world. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to your parents for your achievements in the 4 virtues I have spoken about and your induction into the National Honor Society at Mount Edgecombe High School. Your parents have good reason to be proud of you, very proud of you. But do not rest on your laurels, but strive to develop and be individuals of great character, who desire to serve others as leaders, always seeking to gain valued knowledge, to make changes, to better the society and the world around you. Good luck. Thank you.
If I could get another big round of applause for Mr. Goulet for giving an amazing speech. Again, we'd like to thank everyone who made this assembly happen today. We'd like to thank Ms. McAdams, Ms. Anderson, Mr. Goulet, Mr. Frisky, and Mr. Hutton for being the administration and advisors of our club. We'd also like to thank all the teachers and students for coming here to make this a special day for the new inductees for the 2016 National Honor Society induction.
We'd like to thank everybody who applied to be an NHS, and I also wanted to address something really quickly. Even if you didn't receive back the response you wanted, say if you didn't get in, we'd just like to say applying to begin with does show a lot of character, and that there's still a year. You can apply next year, and there's always the opportunity to grow and change. So we'd love to have you up here next year with us. So just keep trying, because we all know that everybody at this school is exceptional, and we are brave. So thank you. I would like to say congratulations to ladies and gentlemen for being part of the new 2016 National Honor Society inductees. Society members to stay, but everyone else can go ahead and go to 5th hour. Hold on. Please wait. Seniors can go first. Okay, freshmen, and everyone else on stage, you guys can go. Thank you, sophomores.
You don't hear it. Oh, it can't be.